Okay, hi everybody. I'm John Bishop and I'm here with my friend Philip Rosemond from Flint Hill, Virginia. I'm here in Bellingham, Washington, and what we're going to be talking about tonight is silent nights, okay? This is a general wellness patch. This is not anything that has any drugs in it. It's non-transdermal, and I'm not going to go into an explanation of phototherapy in depth, but I am going to just start with the benefits that we've been able to find through these silent night patches. So I want to give a little bit of my experience with these patches. It's right now 4th of July just got over. Last year, I remember at this time I practically got no sleep because of the fireworks going off all night, and it was kind of miserable. This year, of course, last year I did not have these. So this year I have been using silent nights quite a bit, and I thought, my gosh, I wonder if this will help me get through those nights with the fireworks blasting. And sure enough, I had really peaceful sleep despite the fireworks, and they went on for 5 days straight. I live in a place, it's an Indian reservation, and they really love their fireworks, and they start about 3 days before the 4th of July and go a couple days afterwards. Okay, so I started to really experience really good sleep from about 5 months ago. My career as a dancer, Philip is also a dancer. We're looking at years performing on stage.
Was a dancer. Past tense.
Right, past tense. Past tense, very past tense. But many late evening performances, always getting back to either home or a hotel at late at night. And I really wish I would have found this back then when I was dancing, because I would have had a lot better sleep. So my experience with these silent nights patches have been really remarkable, because I not only have a better quality of sleep, but I also wake up in the morning much different than before I started to use these patches. And so basically what we're going to be talking a little bit about today is melatonin, and how melatonin is produced in the brain to give us, to really give us the quality sleep that we need, and then talk a little bit about how the silent night patches work. So Philip, I'm going to turn it over to you for a second. Go ahead.
So these patches, first of all, they don't put anything into your body.
I'm already on the meeting.
And so you need to know that
It's okay if you want to jump
you're
on.
not trying to transfer anything in like a supplement. So many people take melatonin,
Oh, okay.
a chemical that is used by your body. And
Maybe next time. Okay.
I'm waiting till John mutes himself. Okay, so at any rate, these patches don't put anything in your body. That's the first thing to know about as far as LifeWave side of this. John's going to go over a little bit of the science of how this works, but they don't put anything in your body. They reflect light back into your body the same way that the sun creates vitamin D by going through your mitochondria and your ADP and informs your brain, make vitamin D. Okay, that's why so many doctors are really upset during the winter when people aren't taking vitamin D supplements in northern climes. They're lacking in vitamin D, and then when they get out of the sun during the summer, their body naturally goes up on vitamin D because of the way the sun hits it. That's the same thing that happens here. So the one thing about the idea of what the silent night patches do is reflect that light back into you and tell your brain to regulate melatonin. Now, it's not telling your brain, which is in the pineal gland that John's going to talk about, that it makes more melatonin to help you sleep. It's that it regulates the amount that you need to sleep, okay? So that when we take a supplement, which has become so popular, melatonin, to help us sleep, we're taking whatever dose we take. And that's different than everybody. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how that worked for me a little later, but I'm going to hand it back over to John so he can actually go into the PowerPoint presentation to show you how this works and how the brain actually works with melatonin to create it, and what goes on there, because it's not something I can just quote off the top of my brain, that's for sure. So take it, John. Unmute yourself, please, John.
Okay, thank you, Philip. There we go. Okay, so we're going to go to this little slideshow here. Okay, so before we talk about the amazing benefits of LifeWave Silent Nights patches, we're going to talk a little bit about what is melatonin. So I'll just read here. Melatonin is a naturally occurring hormone in your body that helps promote sleep. Because of its calming and sedating effects, it's also called the sleep hormone. Your pineal gland releases melatonin into your brain at certain times of the day. It releases more at night and slows production when it's light outside. In addition to its role in sleep, melatonin has an anti-inflammatory and antioxidant property. It's also involved with regulating blood pressure, immune function, and body temperature. As you age, your body makes less melatonin. So we can see from this little graph down here all these amazing things that are connected to having melatonin in the brain. Antioxidant effects, reversing cancer insensitivity to treatment, immunomodulation, metabolism regulation, anti-metastatic effects, anti-angiogenic effects, apoptosis induction, inhibition of cellular proliferation and cell cycle arrest, synergizing with radio and chemotherapy, and epigenetic regulation. Okay, so that's a lot of fancy words there that we don't all have to remember. I just put this little diagram here. This is kind of a structure of what the melatonin molecule looks like. So what is really important is this next slide. Many people think that they need melatonin, and so a lot of people are taking melatonin supplements. Okay, so the question is, can you become addicted to melatonin? And let me explain first. Although melatonin is naturally made by the body, it's still important to use care with supplements. Too little melatonin won't produce the desired sedating effect, and too much can cause unwanted effects, including interfering even with more with your sleep cycle. The trick is to take the lowest effective dose, since taking a surplus of melatonin won't help you better to sleep better. So they say kind of a guideline is a broad range is 0.2 to 5 milligrams. Some people taking even more than that. But again, it's not a perfect science. So as it says here, just because something's natural doesn't make it automatically safe. While there are no reports of melatonin being addictive as of this writing, when this report came out, when taking medications or supplements, it's always good to be aware of the potential effects of the substance. Melatonin doesn't cause withdrawal or symptoms of dependence, unlike other sleep medications. It also doesn't cause a sleep hangover, and you don't build up a tolerance to it. In other words, it doesn't cause you to need more and more as time goes on, which is a hallmark of addiction. These characteristics make it unlikely that melatonin is addicting. More long-term research needs to be done on melatonin and the effects of long-term use. However, if you're a family member, it cautions you, if your family member or you or a family member have a history of addiction, talk with your doctor about your use of melatonin and any concerns you might have. It might not be the right one for you. So what are the side effects of taking melatonin in supplement form that they've found? Melatonin is typically taken as a sleep aid, so naturally one of the main side effects of the supplement is drowsiness or sleepiness. Taken appropriately, side effects are usually infrequent, but as with any medication or supplement, they can occur. They can also occur when too much melatonin is taken. Whether you take melatonin regularly or sporadically, it should not make a difference regarding any side effects. But common side effects can include nausea, headache, dizziness, mild tremor, irritability, low blood pressure, stomach cramps, and temporary feelings of depression. Okay, so these are not good things. But knowing how important melatonin is there a more natural way to elevate melatonin in the brain? That's what we want to talk about today. And the answer is yes, silent nights. Okay, so first what we're going to look over here on the sidebar. This was a really shocking study that was done, which found that more than 50 million Americans already suffer from over 80 different sleep disorders, and another 20 to 30 million suffer intermittent sleep problems each year. So that's a lot of Americans who are going through this problem. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the patch usage in a moment, but I'll just continue to read here. The LifeWave Silent Nights patch is clinically proven to improve the quality of sleep by 66%. The best way for the body to recover is when the sleep pattern reaches delta. You know, delta waves, there's alpha, beta, delta. Your sleep pattern is ideal when it reaches that delta vibration. Imagine improving your sleep without the use of sleeping pills and side effects. So this is great for people who do a lot of traveling or suffer from anxiety or under a lot of stress. So about the study that was done on the Silent Nights patch, the random double-blind placebo-controlled clinical study reported that the subjects whose age range was 21 to 40 reported that melatonin production was increased by as much as 202% in the group using Silent Nights patches. There were also additional benefits that included improvement in mood, more alertness when waking, more energy and stamina throughout the day, and reduction in stress. So as Philip was saying earlier, this is different than a chemical that is being introduced into your body. This is your own body kind of producing the amount of melatonin that is needed to improve the quality of your sleep. That's a totally different approach. Okay, so it's really from the outside in, inside out. It's a back and forth thing that's going on, but it's to do. Your body is actually a brilliant mechanism because it really knows how much it needs and what it's lacking in or what it needs to add. So this is why this technology is really cutting edge. Okay. So I'm gonna go back, stop there, stop the share. Okay, so Philip, give me a little bit more of your impression about this technology.
So first of all, I haven't used this patch that much because there are so many other great LifeWave patches. What I found was that when I was using the X39, which is, if there's an all-around patch, that's the one that everybody uses, and it resides on the back of my neck, like the same way I have glutathione right here. Long story short about that later. But so what I found was the other night I was going back and forth from our campground and work. It was kind of a workation, and 4th of July weekend. So I tried it, and I put it right here, which is one of the places where, which in the East they call your third eye. And that's where it goes straight into your pineal gland. I don't know how it works, but the one thing is that none of us are scientists to be able to tell you how the patches do what they do. It is a proprietary technology. But what we do know that it does in a very basic way is reflect light back into it. And what that does is it goes into the pineal gland and allows the pineal gland to help the body create melatonin to help you sleep, and the right amount, so that you can do that. Right. Now, what I found over time with these patches is that I'm one of the slow pokes. I put it on day to day, slowly but surely I have an effect. For the IceWave patches for my knee, which are a pain patch, I found that it took a little while, and I used the Ion patch, which is a stress relieving patch and has anti-inflammatory effects. Really reduced the pain in my knee greatly. Not perfect, but I need a new knee, so there's a lot more going on there than one patch will handle. That said, with what I found is that I went to bed, put this thing on. I was so hyped up and so stressed out that it didn't have much of an effect. Then I put on an Ion patch in another place in my body, and then whammo, I went out. I found with the X39, I don't need those patches as much, but the idea is that it does work. When I was living in Montana 20 years ago, I was losing sleep and not sleeping well. I was struggling with a lot of sleep. This is back when I had parked my car in John's front yard, and he turned it into a planter. And I moved to Bozeman, Montana to be ballet master of a small semi-professional ballet company out there. It's a mixture of a school and professional dancers. And it was just stressing the heck out of me, and I was not sleeping. So I took melatonin supplements. Well, and then when I went off the melatonin supplements when I didn't need them anymore, and I wasn't as stressed out, I couldn't sleep. But what happens with melatonin is that if you take it regularly and on a long-term basis, you're telling your brain, I don't need to manufacture my own melatonin. Again, remember, melatonin is a chemical produced by your own body. And when it's not producing a high enough amount for you to get a decent amount of sleep because stress or other problems in your body are causing an imbalance, well, we started to supplementing. Well, the problem was it stopped making melatonin. So no, you can't get addicted to melatonin. It's not an addictive substance, but your body needs to reboot to tell itself, oh, I don't need this substance to sleep anymore. And there have been a million products like this on the market that create imbalances in our body so that we can get sleep or that we have more energy. I mean, how many of us can't live with a cup of coffee in the morning? Well, we got a patch for that. It's called Energy Enhancer. We put those on. They reside on the bottom of my feet, as they do John's, a place that was never recommended before we came up with it. And we don't need it as much anymore. 1 cup of coffee in the morning, make me regular. That's all I use it for. Getting back to the silent night, I needed to take my time with it and let it work and use another patch. The idea behind these is that it's kicking in regulatory systems and systems in your own body that are making it work. So if you're struggling with sleep, this can work. Sometimes it takes 3 uses over a period of time for your body to say, oh, this thing is telling me what to do. Okay, unlike a transdermal patch, and I've run into it, there's a transdermal glutathione patch. This is glutathione is the antioxidant that our own body produces. And a lot of people are taking it in. And what happens when they take glutathione orally or with injection is all of a sudden their body stops producing glutathione. Well, when you're older, you stop producing it anyway. So what amount should I have of glutathione? Okay, well, the idea behind that is that you don't know. This doesn't know either. It just tells your body to make the right amount. And that's the whole point behind all the patches, including Silent Night. Want a good night's sleep, use it. For me, I use that. X39 helps me sleep. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Good story. Okay, yeah. So these patches, I mean, compared to other kind of things out there on the market, it might seem like they're a little expensive at first. 1 sleeve of 30 patches sells for, well, it's $79.95 retail, $69.95 if you become a representative or a preferred customer. And, you know, it comes out to $3 a day, a little over $3 a day, a night, actually. So, because that's the only time you want to use it. You don't want to use this during the daytime because it'll make you sleepy. So, and then if you get two sleeves, it's cheaper. It's basically instead of $70, it's $60, and the lowest price is $50 if you get 3 sleeves. Okay, you can also combine these, like with the Eon patch or the Energy Enhancer patch, and get this really great price. So,
and like we say, we tend to use these patches in combination. I do all the time. I find that really works for me. If I can interrupt one thing that John was saying, I took a break from the patches on Sunday because I was just doing so much. These patches tell your body to do so much. It's putting your body to work. You might be just sitting there, but your body is working. Your metabolism is changing. All sorts of processes are going on in your body. And I found I was getting exhausted even using the Energy Enhancer patches. So I took them off, and the next day I felt great. And I felt great because they had done their job. I was getting, on the 7th day, the Lord rested. And that's what I kind of felt happen. And now I have them on again, and I don't feel so overrun by them. And they're not doing that. It's your body doing it. Your body is like, catching up. These are like a control center. It's like a boss saying, okay, I need 16 copies of this on my desk in half an hour. Make sure they're done. You run around and get those done. That's what this is telling your boss. This is your boss telling your brain what to do. It's not really, but I'm using that as an analogy so you understand how it works. I'm sorry, John, go ahead.
No, that's fine. The other thing is if you're going to use these, then lots of water, okay, throughout the day, okay, because you will get, because of the work that it's doing in the body, your body needs needs to stay hydrated. So this is with all of the patches really. So just in conclusion, I just want to say that the LifeWave company does not make any claims to treat, prevent, or cure disease or anything like that. This is a totally new concept to,
new technology within a new technology, which is called phototherapy.
Yeah, and it's the only company in the world that has this patented proprietary technology in the world. So you might also be thinking, geez, what kind of company is this? Well, this is a company that actually has grown to the point where it is. It had actually its best year this year so far. It's on its way to becoming a $1 billion company. So the reason why, because the stem cell market size right now, which is about $9.7 billion, is huge. You might think it's projected to become about 27 billion by the year 2027. So people like Philip and I, we've taken this seriously. Sometimes there's trends and timing that can lead you into an opportunity. And Philip and I really believe that there is an opportunity to not only get better health benefits from these patches, but to share them with other people, and the company rewards you, just like a person in real estate would receive commissions. Okay, but the cool thing about this is that it can really build over time. You can start with a few people who tell a few more people who tell a few more people, and then before you know it, there's a lot of people, okay? And that can really lead to what we call passive income. So that these are consumable products. They're used by people all over the world. Also, professional athletes use these patches as well, like the energy enhancer. A number of, especially article came out about the German national team that is going to be performing at the World Cup in Qatar in 2022 are all training with this patch right here, which is the energy enhancer patch. Okay, so that's really remarkable. And a lot of athletes, basketball players, swimmers, baseball players, wrestlers, you name it. Many athletes are using these patches. And sleep, as we know, is very important. Energy and sleep. If you have a lack of energy and a lack of sleep, then your life is not going to have the right kind of biorhythm to it. It's going to be really offset. So that's why these products are just amazing. I've tried, there's 15 different patented patches. I've tried even the last one, which is the AccuLife patch for horses, because I ran out of the IceWave patch. So I patched my poor neck with, I woke up, on the wrong side of the bed one day, put the AccuLife for horse pain relief on my sore neck, and within minutes the pain was gone.
And it was amazing. The next day he ran 4 furlongs and won the race.
I was ready for the, to go for the Triple Crown, I tell you. So yeah, amazing benefits from all these patches. And if you are interested in purchasing these patches, or maybe becoming a distributor, then please contact Philip and myself. We also do this, these PowerPoints that we record our sessions, and we also can share the PowerPoint with you as well. So I just wanted to go back here for one moment, share the screen here. So Philip and I think mostly we've put the Silent Night patches on the third eye, which is called the governing vessel 24/5 that you see right here. When you get the instructions, you'll see other places too. You can put it here on the foot. This is the right foot on liver 3, the right side of your, just where your temple is on the triple burner 23. These are all acupuncture points. The triple burner 17, just under the earlobe. And even on that, for the kidney 3, that's located in the depression on the inside of the right ankle joint behind the ankle bone. So you can try, if you know, if you don't like the patch on the forehead, really doesn't matter, because at night really nobody's going to see it except maybe your wife or girlfriend. It doesn't really matter. Okay, but
Or
yeah,
boyfriend.
or boyfriend. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, we need to include that as well. So there we go. So again, if you have any questions, just get in contact.
Bring the slide up with the address with our.
Right. So it's this slide right here. There we go. So we work with Dr. Linda Goggins. Sorry, I have to change that. Dr. Linda Goggin. And here's Philip's information here. And we work with some other people who are very able to answer your questions. Okay, so I'll turn it back to you, Phil.
So anyway, I think you should all give this a try and give it a good shot, and give us a call, and we'll be glad to help you in any way. So have a good night.
And all the products come with a 90 for preferred customers and retail customers, 90-day, 100% money back guarantee. You can't beat that. That's as good as it gets with any kind of product, I think. That's how much confidence the company has in its products. So thank you, and stay safe, everybody.
Good night.